Mike, thank you very much. A 10-0 run for the San Antonio Spurs after Dallas made the first couple of baskets of the night. Tim Duncan already with 6. He's had 52 points, Hubie, in the first 2 games of this series. For a guy who's supposedly maybe a little past his prime, for a team that's supposedly maybe a little past their prime, they're doing a pretty good imitation of a championship caliber team. They were great in game 2.
Well, their defense tonight is excellent. They're trapping the side pick and rolls. They're holding Dallas to 1-shot attempt. They're getting out in the open floor and making things happen in transition.
Richard Jefferson, so important in game 2, an active start here tonight. And the San Antonio Spurs lost game 1, came back a huge road win. In game 2, they've come home to this capacity crowd at the AT&T Center and have gotten off to a very good start here tonight. Dan Shulman, Hubie Brown, Heather Cox is with us as well. This doesn't feel like a first-round series. It doesn't feel like a 2 versus 7 series at all.
Well, we have 2 of the best heavyweights around. We have people with great amount of experience on both teams, meaning pressurized playoff games. Then you have people who are all NBA and all-star players. And what's nice about it, San Antonio's big 3 are all playing great basketball and shooting a high percentage.
Tony Parker, albeit coming off the bench. George Hill is in the starting lineup, but Parker will get his usual dose of minutes. And Dallas, of course, with so many weapons as well. Nowitzki, Kidd, Terry, on and on. Game 1 in Dallas, it was Dirk Nowitzki. How about this night? How about this efficiency? 12 of 14 from the field. He scored 36, a near triple-double for Jason Kidd, and Dallas wins by 6. San Antonio bounces back with a 14-point win in game 2. Again, Richard Jefferson maybe the X factor for the Spurs, and you don't see it there, but Tim Duncan, 25 points, 17 rebounds. Another monster night for the future Hall of Famer. So Duncan to the Spurs with an early 6-point lead. Let's send it over to Heather Cox.
Dan, thanks so much. Dirk Nowitzki's effectiveness dropped dramatically between games 1 and game 2. So the big question became, what did the Spurs do differently? Well, according to Coach Popovich, absolutely nothing. The game plan stayed the same. Popovich relied on the law of averages and won the gamble in game 1. 36 points on 14 shots in game 2, just 24 points on 24 shots. So how do the Spurs defend him tonight? A lot of different looks on different areas. The Spurs will double Dirk in choice situations, but more often than not will defend him one-on-one, guys.
All right, Heather, thank you. And Dirk Nowitzki, I mean, he's played San Antonio so many times. The Spurs say, hey, there's nothing we can do that can surprise Dirk Nowitzki. They just hope, as Heather said, that he misses some shots. Duncan misses the free throw. And back come the Mavericks. Good matchup between the veteran future Hall of Famer Jason Kidd and George Hill, one of the most talented young guards in the NBA today. Right now, Manu Ginóbili on a switch with Nowitzki. They can't take advantage. Jefferson slides over. Ginóbili knocks it away. Shot clock at 1, and they won't get it off in time. A shot clock violation on the Mavs.
I just want to bring out a major point here. Dallas in game 2 started out 1 for 11. Tonight they are now 2 for 10. And this is, you know, totally uncharacteristic of this team. They're getting decent looks at the basket. They just cannot put the ball in.
The Mavericks fell in game 2. San Antonio came out and hit first. Played desperate basketball with some urgency. The Mavs said they had to do that here tonight. They did for about the first minute. But ever since then, it's been all Spurs. McDyess, the extra pass, got it back. And still plenty of time. Hill took the bump. Misses the baseline shot, a rebound to Marion. Dallas looking to run.
Yeah, in the early going, San Antonio overpassing down in the painted area.
Marion has it stripped. Another steal by Ginóbili.
Now, this is how they have played since the opening tap. They're very, very quick defensively, and they're very quick in the traps.
How pretty is that? Ginóbili to Duncan.
Whenever you play San Antonio, you're going to be involved in about 60 to 70 pick-and-roll situations. It depends upon how quick you can react to the people that are running the pick and roll.
Another turnover, but then the Spurs give it right back. They were down 4-0. They scored 12 points in a row. Frustration by Duncan. A missed opportunity there.
Now, this is just a beautiful pick and roll with Ginóbili. See, he gives you the idea that he's going to pass, boom, and he puts the ball right on the money. He looks first, then he attempts the shot, then he makes the pass.
And ever since the All-Star break, Manu Ginóbili's been playing at an all-star level, way over 20 points per game, healthy, shooting is up, assists are up, rebounds are up. Jason Terry's in off the Dallas bench. Tony Parker is in off the San Antonio bench. Nowitzki over Ginóbili, and you can't hit a tougher shot than that.
Now, in game 2 and in this game, Ginóbili picks him up in the middle of the floor, depending upon screens. Now, you can see they are not double-teaming Dirk, but Dirk has such a height advantage on Ginóbili, but Ginobili's going to bottle him up, and it should be very physical all night.
That snaps a drought of over 4.5 minutes between the made field goals for the Mavericks. Duncan, no call. Kidd comes up with it. Marion one-on-one with Ginóbili, and another Dallas turnover. 5 of them already. Parker,
how about that? Pretty. Oh, what a great hesitation, and then a ball and head fake off the dribble.
Not a bad 6-man Greg Popovich has found right now, huh?
Well, I'm happy for Tony. He missed 26 games this year with the broken hand, but now that he's back, he's scoring right at that 16 to 18 in every game.
Let's look at the current lineups right now, brought to you by Popeyes. The lineups on the floor for these two teams. And for the Dallas Mavericks, Jason Terry, of course, one of the best 6 men in basketball. He had a huge game, too. Tony Parker, Manu Ginóbili, and George Hill, kind of a 3-guard rotation for the 2 spots. Hill just came in. Ginóbili just went out as Nowitzki takes a pretty hard shot on his way to the rim.
Now, I liked what Nowitzki just did there. Anytime Duncan is playing him that far away, he's got to take him off the dribble. No way can Timmy stay with him. See, Timmy's playing him for the jump shot, and then when Dirk goes, he'll force the rotation. He'll either get the uncontested drive or a drive with contact, or he'll make the pass.
The foul was on Duncan, who inadvertently tripped Nowitzki. The collision was Nowitzki stumbling into McDyess. Duncan the foul, his first. Rodrigue Beaubois, the rookie from Guadeloupe, making his first appearance in the series right now. Number 3, a small lineup. Kidd, in effect, shifts to a small forward position, at least defensively right now, as Dirk knocks down the free throw. Nowitzki just sensational in game 1. Game 2, more looks, similar looks. Hubie just didn't knock him down.
He's had a great season. He shot 48% from the field, shot 42% in threes, and then 91.5, second in the league on the foul line. Just an amazing year. And think about it, 7-foot guy, one of the greatest shooters in the history of this game.
Interesting move by Rick Carlisle here, trying to counteract the small, speedy backcourt with Parker and Hill, with Beaubois and Terry in there. Both teams going small right now. See how Beaubois responds to his first ever playoff action.
Well, they like him because of his quickness and the fact he can really score the ball.
McDyess, the long jumper.
You have to pay attention to McDyess and Bonner, who are splitting the center position. They are playing Nowitzki the majority of time. The big thing with them, they both can hit the perimeter jump shot.
Nowitzki from the elbow. Misses left. Dampier, another offensive rebound. Nowitzki again, this time the drive and the lay-in.
Now you love it. See, don't settle for the jumper. He missed a couple early, now he's taking it to the rim.
Offensive foul, Richard Jefferson. Got to be careful he doesn't pick up a technical.
I like Jason Kidd. Jason and then also Richard Jefferson played together in New Jersey, got to the finals twice. He knew that he was coming back to his right. He anticipated it perfectly, drew the charge.
Hit off to Terry, had 27 in game 2 after just 5 in game 1. Beaubois back to Terry, 6 to shoot. Terry inside, hangs, misses, and out of bounds to San Antonio.
I like that matchup, Parker and Jason Terry. That's going to be a good one to watch if we stay small.
Dallas won game 1 as San Antonio, behind a huge effort from Tim Duncan and others, winning game 2. And Duncan is off to a great start already here tonight. 4 for 5, 8 first quarter points for Tim Duncan. And the San Antonio Spurs with a 6-point lead here late in the first quarter. the Mavericks tonight, and the NBA playoffs continue on ESPN with another doubleheader tomorrow. It'll be Game 3 between Atlanta and Milwaukee. That begins at 7 Eastern. The Hawks lead that series 2-0. Then at 9:30 Eastern time, it'll be the Lakers and the Thunder. How about the win for Oklahoma City last night over the Lakers? That series stands 2-1 in favor of Los Angeles. Well, we got a lot of all-timers here in this series. There's one of them, and there's another. Dirk Nowitzki and Tim Duncan. And you look at the accomplishments, the numbers, the comparison, Hubie, between their careers. The biggest difference, of course, is that number down on the bottom. Tim Duncan has won 4 championships.
Well, you have to also understand that sometimes one guy is playing with better talent.
Yep.
And then any time that you break into the league and you have David Robinson as your man, that you can go inside, outside, and then also play rebounding, shot blocking, and then shoot high percentages. It was a great way for Timmy to break into the league and then also learn how to be a first-class professional. And he's just carried on the tradition of the big people.
Matt Bonner in for the Spurs, Brendan Haywood for the Mavericks. There are those who feel this Dallas team, after the trade, getting Butler, Haywood, and Stevenson, might be as well equipped to contend for a title as any Dallas team has been. Of course, the closest they got a few years back, took a 2-0 lead in the finals, lost the next 4 to Miami.
Well, the main thing here is they just got to slow down. They're getting good looks at the basket, but once again, they're only shooting 30%.
How do you keep Parker out of the paint?
Well, they don't have anyone who can play him, one-on-one. But then again, how many people in the league can?
Good point.
Mainly he'll keep it, and then also he is so clever in going from right to left or left to right.
Beaubois not looking to shoot, finds Terry, who hits the floater.
Now, you got to pay attention to Beaubois. He can really take the ball to the basket. Also, he's got a nice game, nice jump shooting game.
Beaubois started 16 games this year with a 2-guard spot, but also had 26 games in which he didn't play at all. And he didn't play much down the stretch after the trade with Washington. Hill the miss. Hill with a tender ankle, suffered the injury toward the end of the regular season. Beaubois a little bit out of control. Another Mavericks turnover. Let's listen into the last tunnel. Rick Carlisle, the Dallas coach, wired for sound.
We're not going to make every shot, but let's just make sure if we shoot miss, we sprint back and find it. If they don't run like that, it's going to be hard for them to score on us. Get your defense set.
Well, he's right on the money. The main thing here is you can't fall asleep. You're getting good looks at the basket. You're shooting, you're missing. And San Antonio, very aggressive here this evening. They are looking to get it out with a long pitch out and then get you into a 2-on-1, 3-on-2, 4-on-3 type of a situation.
A defensive 3-second call against Dallas. George Hill will shoot the technical. Jason Terry going over to Dan Crawford to try to get an explanation on that call. San Antonio now with a 7-point lead. The series tied at 1. The number 2 seeded Mavericks won 55 during the regular season. The number 7 seed San Antonio won 50. Really not a lot to separate 1 through 8 in the Western Conference, as we are discovering here in the playoffs. And the foul on to Brendan Haywood.
Well, right down on the baseline from San Antonio offensively, from the foul line down, you continually to run into 1 screen, 2 screen, so you cannot fall asleep because you'll have contact.
Parker the miss. Here comes Kidd. Terry from the baseline. Another basket for Jason Terry.
Well, let's face it, he had a great game in game 2. And also, he's just coming off that now. He's playing without the mask where he had the broken bone in his face. So you got to give him a lot of credit that he's not shy going to the rim.
27 into game 2 after just 5 into game 1. Ginóbili getting set to check back in for the Spurs. Duncan over Haywood, back of the rim, rebound Nowitzki.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Haywood and Dampier do not get their hands up. Both guys are excellent shot blockers and ranked every year in the top 10.
Yeah, Haywood had better than 2 a game this year in the top 5 in the league. Nowitzki, the fadeaway over Bonner, won't go. Rebound Jefferson.
Yeah, but that's one of his favorite moves. You got to keep going to him down there, because if they're not going to wait on the double team, if they're going to wait until you put it down on the floor, he's got an advantage.
George Hill posting up inside on Terry.
You have to start looking at these mismatches. Jason Kidd is also playing Richard Jefferson. Jefferson has not had any type of a post up yet.
Again, Nowitzki and Bonner. Another jumper for Dirk, and this one goes.
Well, they'll wear him out. There's no doubt about it. He's off to an excellent start here. He's getting great looks. And if you're going to play him at that midpoint, that's only 15 feet away from the basket. One-on-one, no double team. He'll shoot over Bonner all night.
8 points now for Nowitzki. Parker's circling and probing. Brings it back out. 8 to shoot. Teardrop is good.
He's playing with such confidence. Now that he's back, he's coming off the bench. He's only shooting 45%, but he's looking for the shot. Don't play him for the pass. Play him for the shot every time.
And he says, I don't care if I don't start. I just want to finish. And he will be on the court in the fourth quarter. You can bet that.
Well, he's all about winning. He wants to win.
Again, one-on-one isolation and a foul on Bonner.
He'll just wear Bonner out here because Bonner is either going to give him an open J because of the size difference, or he's going to foul him, and you're going to be in the penalty. Now, just keep an eye right here. See, he'll work you to death. He has a multitude of moves, all right, with the jab step series, and then he can shoot the fadeaway. So he's so difficult to guard.
And if you're Greg Dyson and Matt Bonner, unless you want to put Duncan on him, we haven't seen a lot of Duncan on Nowitzki.
Well, we'll probably see that in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Dirk again, good help by Ginóbili. Dallas ball.
One thing you know about Ginóbili, he'll leave his man no matter where he is, and he'll try to help on a double team on a dribble, or he'll go for the shot block.
3.1 to go in the quarter. A low-scoring first quarter. Kid to inbound for the Mavs. Beaubois got to put it up. And that ends the first quarter. The Spurs shooting 56% of the first quarter. Dallas turnover prone. And at the end of one, San Antonio leading by 7. The superstars have shown up with both Dirk Nowitzki and Tim Duncan off to high-scoring starts. Dirk with 8 in the first quarter. Duncan with 8 in the first quarter. But Nowitzki needs a little more help. Duncan and the Spurs lead by 7.
Welcome back to San Antonio, joined by Dallas head coach Rick Carlisle. And Coach, you said that you might change things up on Tim Duncan, especially after the type of start that he had. You might double team him. What type of adjustments might we see the rest of the game on Tim?
Well, we'll see. If we need to come on him, we will. But, you know, the key is you don't want to give him a steady diet of any one thing because he'll adjust because he's a great player.
Slow starts have certainly been a source of frustration this season. How do you change the tone, change the tempo in this game?
Well, you know, we're subbing, getting some different guys in there. Right now, you know, they hit us early. The crowd's making a lot of noise. We just got to hang in and play our game.
Rick, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Sounds like Rick Carlisle's got a little playoff laryngitis going already. Just game 3 of the first round.
Yeah, I like what he's saying. The main problem for them, in game 2, they shot 36% at home. Tonight, 37% at the end of the first quarter. But then, an added problem. They already have 6 turnovers.
DeJuan Blair, the rookie out of Pittsburgh, number 45, has checked in for San Antonio. Bonner gets inside. Blair with a follow. Had a couple of offensive rebounds. DeJuan Blair had 2 20-20 games this season as a rookie, as Jason Kidd is fouled on the drive.
Yeah, they want the basket. Rick Carlisle a little upset on the side, mainly because that was another easy layup. I'm surprised that it was missed. Now you think about it, Dirk has missed 1, and now Jason Kidd. This could have been a 3-point play.
The foul on Hill, his first. You can see the numbers for Jason Kidd so far in this series. A much better game 1 than a game 2. But look at historically all-time ranks, both regular season and playoffs. Kidd right up there among the very best in so many important categories.
Also, some stat which they just don't publicize enough, Dan. He's 5th in the league in assists to turnovers. He gets 3.7 assists for every turnover. When you consider how much he handles the ball with this team, that's a great stat.
You know, you think back to when the trade was made, when Kidd came over here, and everybody said, boy, what are they giving away such a great young talent like Devin Harris? Kidd is, you know, in his mid-30s already. Well, look at how he's playing. Look at what he's done for this team the last couple of years. Parker with a sweet find off to Blair.
I like what we're seeing underneath. Now we're not making 2 or 3 passes in the paint. San Antonio is taking their time. They're making 1 pass, and we have completion.
And
high percentage.
And I'm sorry, Huey, of San Antonio's 11 field goals, 9 of them have come in the paint. You can count the basket for Shawn Marion at the other end.
When you look at the games 1 and 2, San Antonio was dominating the paint, just like they are tonight, 90-64. This is just a Hail Mary shot by Marion. If you're going to foul a guy in that situation, make sure you foul him hard so that he doesn't get the shot up above his shoulder.
Eduardo Nájera, reacquired by Dallas midway through the season. His second stint with the Mavericks. Checks in. Haywood goes to the bench. Marion at the line as we check in again with Heather.
Well, if Dallas is looking for something to blame its slow start on, maybe their early wake-up call. Their hotel is on the Riverwalk, and a marching band actually started playing it at 9 a.m., which is certainly considered early for a team trying to sleep in due to a late game. So it was wake-ups of trumpets, tubas, drums, and according to the players, it sounded like the band was in the hotel lobby. Then to top it off, security went off at 9:30, saying there was an emergency situation. Then 15 minutes later, after they'd just fallen asleep, the alarm went off again. So a tough way to start the day, guys.
Wow, the hospitality you don't expect to get when you're away from home. It is Fiesta weekend here in San Antonio, kind of San Antonio's version of Mardi Gras. Were you out there grand marshaling the parade?
Absolutely, absolutely.
The beads in your hair.
People come here 3 and 4 days and camp out.
That's
it's just an interesting thing.
Yeah.
And you just love it because the people love the fanfare, the floats, everything. It was an exciting day here.
Dick Bavetta, Dan Crawford are going to talk that one over. Dick Bavetta was about to call an offensive foul.
Well, right now you can see in that situation, Nájera had one leg in the defensive circle.
And it's a block. The call's been overturned after Bavetta consulted with Dan Crawford.
Yeah, and that's the correct call. You're going to see it right here. Just watch the one leg. His left leg is inside. Now he tries to get underneath him. And you could have called it both inside the circle and also that he was moving to get it. He didn't have a clear shot.
So it goes against Nájera. Shot clock to 14. Rick Carlisle very unhappy that call was reversed. Here comes Parker again. Floater over Terry.
Remember we told you now, stop playing him for the pass. He's going down in the air and he's going to shoot that floater.
But even if you know he's going, right, you still can't stop him. Nájera on the follow.
You have to pay attention to Nájera now. He's one of these guys, they call no plays for him. He can shoot the three, and down inside, he's a banger.
Parker to Blair. In and out. Follow no good. Loose ball to Bonner and a fresh 24 for the Spurs.
Now Blair's got to start making these layups. Right? In game 2, he missed 3 in the first half.
Parker again. He'll shoot a couple. The foul on Jason Terry. And Terry didn't like the call. Terry's quick. I mean, the Jet is quick, but he's having a tough time staying with Tony Parker. He's been working the officials hard ever since this game began tonight. So Parker to the line, coming off the bench, missed the last 15 or so games of the regular season with a broken bone in his hand. But boy, he sure looks to be all the way back right now. On the NBA calendar on TNT tomorrow, it'll be Orlando-Charlotte, Game 3 of that series, and Phoenix-Portland. That game starting at 4:30 Eastern Time, ABC with a doubleheader Sunday. Boston looking to close out Miami, then Cleveland at Chicago. The Bulls trailing 2-1. Atlanta-Milwaukee on NBA TV Monday night with coverage beginning at 8 Eastern Time.
Now, if there is an Achilles heel for San Antonio, it's the foul line. In this series, they're only shooting 72%. During the year, 74, which is very poor. At the other end, Dallas, number 1 in the league at over 81%, and they're 81% in the 2 games that we've already played.
Ginóbili back in for the Spurs with Hill and Parker. Small lineup. Kidd on Parker. Ginóbili driving on to Marion. Parker steps in. Not this time, and the rebound to Marion.
When you watch Tony Parker play, he's not going to take the 3 unless he's absolutely forced. He'll try to keep penetrating and then test you in the mid-range jump shooting game.
Terry. And a foul. Great drive by Jason Terry.
Well, Jason Terry's an offensive threat. When he comes in the game, he's got the 3-point game, the mid-range game, and then also off the dribble to the rim.
The pivotal 3rd game. Hotly contested here in San Antonio. Combination they were with the Mavericks, huh?
Oh, listen, that was a great team. Dick Motta was the coach. They could score the basketball as well as anyone. You have Perkins up front, Donaldson at center position. An excellent basketball team.
They've had a lot of excellent basketball teams, Hubie. They just haven't had a team that's been able to win the NBA championship. Consistent talent and production. They just haven't been able to be the last team standing.
Just remember, back at that time, all those great teams, there was a team by the name of the Los Angeles Lakers called Showtime.
That's a problem.
They were only in the finals 8 times in 10 years. That's all.
And, of course, Dallas has run into San Antonio a number of times. In this era, this is the 5th time they have met in the playoffs.
Oh, my.
Each team has won twice.
Right now, you can see with Nájera at center, San Antonio is small. Blair is your center. They're playing all guards out there with Richard Jefferson, Mason, Hill, and Ginóbili. So it's a small man game out there.
Mason hasn't played much in the postseason. If he can knock down shots, he'll get time. Hill, too strong. Blair inside. Back to Hill.
Now, that was a great pass. I like the fact that he didn't try to muscle that up there because there were 2 guys there to shot block. Made the pass. Beautiful.
Blair about 6'7". What he lacks in height for an interior player, he makes up for in strength and desire to go get that basketball.
I say right now, this is just an easy move. Go right back.
Kidd, too strong on the 3. Another rebound for Blair. You don't like it?
No, I don't like it. I go right back inside. Matt Marion's got a major mismatch in there.
Big time back screen there from Jefferson. He'll get it back from Ginóbili. Take the jumper and bury it.
Well, this is the guy that has all the athletic tools, Richard Jefferson. He can shoot the 3. He's great on the break. He's terrific in the half-court offense off the dribble.
First, we see some great work by the rookie, Hubie, DeJuan Blair on the inside. Comes up with the offensive rebound. Beautiful feed off to George Hill. Ginóbili to Jefferson. Maybe as he goes, so go the Spurs. So far, what about the Dallas Mavericks here in the first round of the playoffs against the San Antonio Spurs? 2 of the most successful teams in recent years in the NBA. As we take a look now at tonight's National Association of Realtors Hometown Heroes. Only 4 teams ever have won a 50 or more 10 straight years. The Celtics back through the 50s and 60s. The Mavericks currently, the Spurs currently, and the Lakers all through the 80s. The one thing that separates one of those teams from the other 3 of them all won championships at some point during that run. The Mavericks have not. Dirk Nowitzki knocks it down. Dirk says, hey, every time we don't win a championship, I look at it as a lost opportunity. He knows he's got a few good years left, but the end of his career is closer than the beginning right now. Dirk's still at the peak of his game, but running out of opportunities to win a championship. Duncan answers with a long jumper.
Yeah, I like what happened after that timeout. Popovich came back in with McDyess and Duncan. They were able to play even during a period of time by matching up and playing small ball.
J.J. Barea into the game now for the Mavericks. Tough bank shot there for Brendan Haywood. Any offense from him is a bonus.
Well, you know, when you look at it, Dampier and Haywood has been at least with the 6 points coming in here and then 7 rebounds. Yep. Dampier doesn't give you any points, but he's been averaging 9.5 rebounds. So they are difficult to play against. They're long, and what you're looking for is more shot blocking. Each guy's only gotten 1 so far coming into this game.
Yeah, if Rick Carlisle chooses, he's got 48 minutes of 7-footer out there between the 2 guys. Ginóbili, the step-back jumper. McDyess is held. Nowitzki called for the foul.
Now, McDyess, you've got to pay attention to him. He is an outstanding rebounder. Very quietly, he just goes about his business. He's been the leading rebounder at 9 a game for San Antonio. And then he'll just drift out 18 to 20 feet away, and you have to get out there quick on him and close him out because he shoots a high percentage with the jump shot.
Second foul on Dirk, already the 4th team foul on the Mavericks here in the second quarter. Next one puts the Spurs on the line, and that'll be a shooting foul one way or the other as Duncan will head to the line.
Yeah, if you're going to come at him on the dribble, you got to come a little bit quicker than that. Butler was late, and then he reached in, because once Duncan gets to the second dribble, you're in a lot of trouble.
Number 2 on Caron Butler.
I want to bring out a point in this series so far. everyone thought that Dallas would outmuscle San Antonio up front in the paint. Right now, it's 112-78 in the paint. When you think about that a second, that's a staggering stat.
How about a staggering stat, how some guys have done in the first round in their careers. Tim Duncan's only loss in the first round last year to the Mavericks. How about Robert Horry with 4 different teams, never lost in the first round, 16-0.
You think he played with some pretty good guys?
And knocked down a key shot or two.
No, that's true.
But you're right, he played with some pretty good guys.
Yeah, I would think so.
Including some guys right here.
Yeah.
5-point lead for the Spurs. Series tied at 1. Butler.
They've done a nice job on Butler early here tonight.
Haywood, no basket, shot clock violation.
Now that's too bad, because you'd like to see in this series, you know, to take the pressure off the perimeter people, that Dampier and Haywood would become a little bit more aggressive offensively.
Keep an eye, and there's the clock goes 0, and the ball's still in his hands. Good call. Tony Parker has returned for San Antonio. Parker 4 for 7, 9 points already. Ginóbili looking to get on track. Good tap out by Duncan.
Very seldom do you see Ginóbili leave his feet early, and that time he just needed an extra half a step to play the board better.
Ginóbili still hasn't scored in the game, but give him an assist there on the basket by Tim Duncan.
That's where Duncan is really tough. When he goes to his left and he gets down in there, he comes back with that right hand and he plays the board beautifully.
In and out for Butler. Here come the Spurs with the numbers. Nowitzki behind the play. 5-on-4.
Nice.
McDyess.
Give Parker all the credit. He read that play beautifully. He knew that the defender was in the backcourt, and he waited for McDyess to open up.
Nowitzki can't catch up. McDyess all alone. Parker, the beautiful 5. Well, that look on Mark Cuban's face pretty much sums up how things are going right now for the Dallas Mavericks. San Antonio's really playing well, sharing the ball, working hard, rebounding well. They're really getting after it tonight.
Well, think about this. Dallas is a team that scores 102 a game. They only have 30 here right now. And it's what happened to them in game 2. It's happening again. They're having difficulty shooting a high percentage.
Who can give them a spark? Can it be Barea, who has certainly fit that role at times in the regular season, saw his minutes dwindle later on. And there it is. There's Barea banking one home.
Well, he's a guy, he's a lot like Parker. He doesn't have the floater like Parker, but he plays the backboard well.
Boy, and Greg Popovich sufficiently upset with that last play that he's going to instantly call a timeout. We'll step aside. A 7-point lead for the Spurs here in San Antonio. San Antonio by 7 despite 10 points from Dirk Nowitzki, who had 36 in game 1, 24 in game 2. These are some of his shots from tonight. No double teaming on the perimeter in the post. He's driving, he's shooting. Contested about single man coverage, and Dirk told us he's kind of been surprised that there was no difference really in the way the Spurs have defended from game 1 to 2.
Surprised they didn't do anything different. Played me a lot of single coverage. Had a lot of the same looks that I had in game 1. And I just happened to, unfortunately, have a bad day. Tried to keep going and keep plugging. Made a couple there in the fourth quarter, but still just not efficient enough. You know, I think 24 points and 24 shots is just not going to cut it. So I got to be more efficient with my shooting, and hopefully they'll go in tonight. But like I said, after game 2, if they give me those looks again, I'm going to take those same looks, and they'll go in tonight.
Greg Popovich said to us when we asked him what you do differently from game 1 to game 2, he said absolutely nothing. He said sometimes guys just play better. Sometimes guys just don't hit shots. And Dirk Nowitzki hit a ton of shots for Dallas in game 1, and he missed a lot of shots in game 2.
Now tonight he's 4 for 9. He's getting the same exact looks that he did in games 1 and 2.
Duncan off the rim. Duncan is the high scorer in the game right now. He's 6 of 9, 13 points thus far for Tim Duncan.
Right now for Dallas, Jason Kidd and Butler are 1 for 5. They got to get these 2 guys involved, whether it's a transition game or at least get some options.
Nowitzki, the high-arcing, high degree of difficulty baseline jumper. And Dallas back within 5. A clear out for Duncan. Fading to the baseline, misses it. Loose ball rebound. Here comes Barea. It rolls right off the back of Parker, and Barea misses the layup.
Yeah, but he got a piece of that. George Hill, I'm pretty sure, got a piece of that. And give Dampier a lot of credit. The last 2 possessions down here, he's been right up on Duncan, challenging the shot.
Not this time for Parker. Nowitzki with Duncan on him right now. Kidd back to Nowitzki. Nice. And a 3-second violation on the Mavericks.
Now that was too bad. Mainly because Jason Kidd had 2 shots, he passed them up. He was looking to go to Duncan. I mean, to Nowitzki. Nowitzki's 5 for 10 right now. It's too bad because Nowitzki just gave Duncan a great ball fake, and he had a wide open shot.
Jason Kidd just 2 points, has not made a shot from the field tonight, is 0 for 2.
Remember we said now, in game 2, he was only 1 for 7.
Duncan from Parker. Duncan with 15.
Well, when you go and you drive baseline and you're open, you can count on Dampier coming over to help out. Duncan, as long as he creates a passing angle, he'll put trouble on your defense.
Yubi, you want to talk about consistency? Duncan with 27 in game 1, 25 in game 2, 15 already here tonight. Kidd way long on the 3.
Way long.
Didn't hit the rim. Shot clock runs out again on the Mavs, the 3rd time tonight.
A lot of people are loving it because this is how it used to be. All right, back when they had David Robinson, and then after Robinson left, you know, they had Mohammed here, and then they had Nesterovic. They had a lot of shot blocking. So their half-court defense, there's the Admiral, one of the greatest defensive players, never mind his offensive game. Sean Elliott, great all-around small forward, could score the ball, defend, rebound, out in the open floor. They've had some great ones in this building.
What a run they've had. 13 straight trips to the playoffs, 4 NBA championships, 99, 03, 05, 07. Parker, and a bump by Barea. 2 shots coming for Tony Parker.
Now, see, you can't do that in a playoff game. Barea showed up the referee right there. He definitely created the foul with a chest bump. So all you're doing is, you know, you're getting part-time time. Don't get the referees in your face, mainly because you're showing them up.
Parker to the line. Back to Duncan. We asked Manu Ginóbili what he admires, what impresses him the most about Tim Duncan.
He's always so reliable when you need him. That's something that you can't say about every player in the NBA. There's no mystery that, you know, he's one of the best players ever to play the game. But he might have, you know, a very quiet game, but when you run out of options and you need something solid and you can give him the ball, he's going to make it happen, either scoring, finding the open teammate. So he's like a big warranty that you have, a big insurance for that.
So Shaq labeled him the big fundamental as Barea hits the 3, but Manu says, hey, how about the big warranty? I love that as a new nickname for Tim Duncan.
Big thing in this series, games 1 and 2, he's averaging 20 shot attempts. He only 30 minutes during the year. He's now playing 39 minutes.
Got a little more rest this year. Greg Popovich wanted to sit him out in some back-to-backs, but then things were so tight in the Western Conference that Coach Popovich reneged on his own plan and played Duncan in both games of back-to-backs down the stretch.
Well, Timmy wanted that. He wanted to make sure that they got in a spot that everyone was comfortable. Even though when you take on a team like Dallas, we know this is a great rivalry, then the main thing is Duncan helped you get there.
Amazing is being here. Season tickets for 2010-11 are on sale now. Go to NBA.com/tickets to reserve your seats. The NBA, where amazing happens. Duncan struggling from the line tonight, just 1 for 4.
Well, he came in here tonight 6 for 12. So you know when you get in a situation, you're not going to give him a layup, you're going to foul him.
And a technical foul on George Hill of San Antonio. He and J.J. Barea were really battling up above the 3-point line as Duncan was taking that second free throw.
Now Ginóbili is really hot. That's the second time now. You just saw him come in your picture. But that's the second time since they made the call that he went after Hill to tell him to come on, shape up.
And there's the extra shove with the left elbow from Hill. And this all started while Duncan was just setting up for that second free throw.
Yeah, you know, I can understand a foul in that situation, but a technical foul? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This is a playoff between two excellent teams that are very good defensive teams.
Nowitzki defended by McDyess. Not this time. Rebound to Hill. Hill's second-year player, 26th overall pick a year ago out of IUPUI.
When they're small like this, they get in that like a 2-3 zone.
Tony Parker again.
You got to pay attention to Barea now. If you score quickly and he can get up the sideline, he'll look for the shot.
Nowitzki cross-court look. Kidd to Terry for three. Great ball movement by the Mavericks.
Well, Jason Terry, one of the better three-point shooters that we have in the league. Now, if Jason Kidd can get his three-point game going here in the second half, they'll be a handful.
A 4-point lead for San Antonio into the final minute of the first half. Parker penetrates again. McDyess, fake pass, in and out on the shot. A rebound to the Spurs. Ginóbili, the tap by McDyess. It'll stay with San Antonio. Coming up at the half, the Toyota halftime show. Mark Jones, Avery Johnson, Jalen Rose. A tough one for the Heat tonight at Game 3 against the Boston Celtics, and the latest on the NFL draft. Into Duncan. Ginóbili still hasn't scored until now.
He read that.
6-point lead.
He read that perfectly. He came off of 2 screens, and once he came off and he saw that the defender on the center, meaning Duncan, did not come out strong, he's turning the corner.
Foul to give for the Spurs. Barea somehow finds Kidd. Ginóbili pokes it away. It stays with Dallas. 9 on the shot clock.
One of the best gamblers we have. He's always going for the deflection. If he's in your area, you must pay attention to your dribble.
And now perhaps an issue with the clock. It's showing 26 and a half and 8 on the shot clock right now as the officials wait. A second put back on. So now 27 and 9.
Well, we have a couple of great steal people in the game, and that is Jason Kidd at one end and Ginóbili at the other. Both average over 2 steals a game.
Kidd to inbound. Nowitzki, 5 to shoot. Barea, deep 3. Yes!
Oh, boy. Tell you, Barea's come in and given them a real shot in the arm in the last 3 minutes. It's sitting back in his 2-3 zone. You've got to decide what you're going to do with this. They see they moved Jason Kidd up to the left-hand corner of the zone.
Parker. Terry, good if it goes. And Dallas, after feeling, Hubie, like they were getting outplayed rather handily at times in the first half, they get into halftime down by only 3.
Well, they're shooting much better now. And once they went small, played 2-3 zone, moved Jason Kidd up to the small forward position. Now here's Barea knocking in his second 3. So give them a lot of credit. Rick Carlisle kept moving people around until he got the right people.
Heather Cox is with Tony Parker.
Dan, thanks so much, Tony. It seems like there's a lot of emotions out there, a lot of jawing. We just saw a technical. Describe the emotions of this rivalry tonight.
Yeah, it's a big rivalry. It's a big game. Game 3 is always important, and we're trying to defend home court, so we're doing a pretty good job, but I think we can do better, especially defensively.
Well, speaking of defensively, you guys have forced 3 Dallas shot clock violations. You've held Jason Kidd to 3 points. How have you been so disruptive?
We just focus. Everybody's helping each other, and like I said, I think we can do a lot better.
All right, we'll look for that. Thanks, Tony.
Heather, thank you. 12 first-half points for Tony Parker. Boston over Miami, a heartbreaker for the Heat tonight, and the latest on the NFL draft. The story's coming up on the Toyota halftime show. As Tony Parker himself said, Game 3 is always important, and that is certainly true in this series with the series tied at 1 as we shift to San Antonio tonight. Tim Duncan with 16 in the first half, and the Spurs have a 3-point lead, 47-44 at the break. The Toyota Halftime Show is coming up right after these messages.
Right now, you can see Duncan with 16. All right, and then also you have Ginóbili with 2, Jefferson with 4. But they've got to get Parker and then Ginóbili going with shot attempts.
For Dallas, Dirk Nowitzki did what he could. A big lift from J.J. Barea. Jason Kidd unable to get on track to the first half. Let's check in with Heather.
Rick Carlisle's biggest concerns in that first half, the 9 turnovers and also the second chance points that they allowed the Spurs. I asked if we'll see any changes on Tim Duncan. He said, my problem is that most of his points are coming on second and third options, not on one-on-one set plays that we can really adjust to, but we've got to get bodies on him. He's not concerned that Jason Kidd hasn't been a scoring factor. He said, yeah, it'd be great to get him more involved, but that's not my biggest concern. We just need to play better basketball in the second half.
All right, Heather, thank you. A 3-point lead for the Spurs. Dallas winning Game 1, San Antonio taking Game 2 in Dallas. So the Mavericks need to win a game in this building, QB, if they're going to win the series.
Well, I like what we saw, though, from the Mavericks. They came back with 28 points in that second quarter. They did a great job. The bench came in and gave them 20 points.
Too strong off the glass for Duncan. And here comes Kidd.
Now, you have to pay attention because Dallas, we told you, they average 102 points a game. This is a high-octane team, and they'll give you different looks on their 5 guys that are out on the floor.
And Barea starting the second half for Dallas instead of Caron Butler.
Well, I like this move. See, one thing about Rick Carlisle, he'll go with what's hot, and that's how he ended. Barea with 8, Jason Terry with 8, coming off the bench. So he doesn't like what Butler gave him in that first half. You got to give Ginóbili a lot of credit. He played him well.
And what Butler gave him was 2 points in 15 minutes on 1 of 3 shooting. Marion, no, kept alive by Dampier, but it's San Antonio ball.
Yeah, remember now, as this game goes on, Dampier and then also, you know, Haywood, they, at that center position, they are tough on the offensive rebounding.
Hill. Wow. You can see why Greg Popovich is so high on George Hill. His offensive game, tough defense, he can guard anybody, great work ethic just in his second year.
Main thing right now is he's still trying to get over that bad right ankle sprain.
Marion for 3, and the rebound to Jefferson.
I'd like to see San Antonio come out with some spunk here in this third quarter. Can you get that energy that you started the first quarter with?
They went on an early 12-0 run, did the Spurs, in that first quarter. Ginóbili.
Nice.
And it rolls off the rim, but he'll shoot a couple. You can hear the slap from here on the drive.
Yeah, Manu, you know, he just hasn't been in the flow. In the first half, he was 1 for 5. He'll take it strong to the basket right here. See, he freezes you because he's going to, you have no idea if he's going to pass the ball to your man if you leave to go for the shot block. But he is dangerous once he gets in the air.
That big second half for Ginóbili, once he got healthy, got him a 3-year extension at about $13 million a year. And again, we mentioned his scoring, shooting, assists, rebounding, everything went up in the second half, and they needed so much more from him because Tony Parker didn't play the last 5 weeks of the season with a hand injury.
Well, they need him to get going because we know that Parker's had a good half, Duncan had a good half, Manu's production was down.
What a matchup, Kidd and Ginóbili. Now Nowitzki trying to back down to McDyess. Again, no double team. Now Ginóbili slides in. Nowitzki misses the shot. Ginóbili got the worst of the collision with Nowitzki.
Now keep an eye on this as you get the good ball fake. Now once down inside here, you can see Ginóbili went right out of your picture. The reason is because it got hit right in the nose.
So adding injury to insult, if you will, he got the foul call and he got bloodied.
They split open.
And Tony Parker's going to have to check in for Ginóbili. I think San Antonio may have called a 22nd timeout here.
Now this is just a strong move by Nowitzki. Yeah, he catches him right on the nose. Nowitzki at 7 foot. You have to always remember that now. He's coming through there like Ichabod Crane. He's not coming in there like a smooth diesel engine. You know, he's coming in there with elbows going, knees up high, and he catches the guards because they're down so low, going for the dribble.
9-time All-Star, one of the best free throw shooters in the league. You mentioned second in the league this year behind only Steve Nash. He had made 88 in a row going back to the regular season until a miss in game 2. 88 free throws in a row for a 7-footer. Duncan and Dampier. Long jump hook for Duncan.
You cannot play him any better than that. Dampier was right up there. He discouraged 2 shot attempts by him. He forced him into another move. But that's what makes Duncan special.
Barea quarterbacking. Kid playing off the ball right now a little bit more. Parker on Nowitzki on a switch. Look at this. And Parker fouled by Duncan.
Now,
or excuse me, Nowitzki fouled by Duncan.
Give Nowitzki a ton of credit here. You had a switch right outside there. Now, you had Tony Parker on Nowitzki in the middle of the floor. There was a ton of body contact. But Nowitzki's smart, so he's going to take him. Look at the top now. See, he's banging him around, banging him around. Now he's going to take it right to the hole. Now the people want Nowitzki with an offensive foul with that right elbow. Now, unfortunately for San Antonio, we have Ginóbili going to the locker room.
A cut on his nose bleeding, so they'll try to get that taken care of. Get him back out on the court as soon as possible as Nowitzki knocks down the first.
But during the season, Nowitzki gets to the line almost 8 times a game. In games 1 and 2, 9 in the series.
36 points in a game 1, 24 points in a game 2, 18 already here tonight.
I like his game plan tonight. He's not relying on staying outside, Dan. He's challenging them off the dribble.
And very few, if any, double teams. Basically one-on-one against Nowitzki. Hill with a 15-footer.
Now that is a tough shot. We call that the midpoint area. And unless you practice that shot, that's a low percentage shot. He's uncanny. He made one a few minutes ago on the left side.
And with Parker and Hill in there, Parker the primary point guard, Hill moving off the ball a little bit more. Although Greg Popovich said he had to talk to these 2 guys about their roles when they're in there together. How about the strength there by Hill? Barea wanted an offensive foul.
Yeah, but see, if you didn't get it at the other end, you're not going to get it here. But Barea got popped. That was a good move by Hill. When we give you this replay, watch Hill as he's dribbling. Watch that left arm. You're going to see it right there. Boom. He kept now a little dramatic acting here. All right, he's going off Broadway.
San Antonio has upped the lead to 8. Tim Duncan's now got 18. Same for Dirk Nowitzki. Here's the injury to Manu Ginóbili. Ginóbili reaches in and catches the elbow of Nowitzki right there on the nose. And initially, as we looked at it, it just looked like a cut. But look at, this is Ginóbili before the game when we interviewed him. Look at Ginóbili now, and his nose apparently started pouring blood just as they were going to take him to the locker room. This might be more than a cut. He might have a busted nose. Heather Cox has an update.
Indeed, Dan, like you said, the issue and the concern for the Spurs is not the outside of the nose, but the inside. I saw it. It is bleeding profusely from the inside. They took him to the locker room. They've got 2 concerns. One, figuring out how to stop that bleeding. The second is whether or not it is broken. It is unclear whether or not he's going to return to action anytime soon, guys.
All right, Heather, thank you. And obviously that would be a very, very big loss for San Antonio, even though Ginóbili has only scored 4 points. You talked about him, one of the great gamblers in the NBA. He's got a couple of steals tonight. He's got 5 assists tonight. This means big, big minutes for George Hill.
Yeah, mainly because Ginóbili gives you so many problems at both ends of the floor. But George Hill is answering the call here tonight. He already has 11 points, and he's doing a nice job defensively. But the big thing is you miss Ginóbili at crunch time in that 4th quarter.
Kidd keeps it in bounds. Shot clock at 5. Kidd on the drive. Barea doesn't get it off in time. That is the 4th shot clock violation on the Mavericks in this game.
Now look, Jason Kidd has got to take that shot. He's got a height advantage. He can shoot up over the top of the defender. He knows the clock is down. Now, Jason Kidd right now is 0 for 3 in this game. And we told you before, he and Butler are 1 for 6. these are two guys that they're relying on to score about 25 to 28 points.
And right now their scoring options are Nowitzki, Terry, and J.J. Barea, the way this game has gone. Shot clock didn't reset. Ball didn't hit the rim. Parker, and there's the offensive foul Barea was looking for a couple of minutes ago when Hill banged into him.
Now, Barea will take the charges. He's one of these feisty kind of players that will always get there. He's a little dramatic, but that's okay. The main thing is that you take it.
He gets under your skin, though. I mean, you know he's in the game when he's in the game.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, you love this guy. He plays, it doesn't matter whether it's the playoffs or an exhibition game. He plays the same way every night.
Listed at 6 foot. He's nowhere close. Fourth-year player out of Northeastern as 7-footer. Dirk Nowitzki knocks down another one. Dirk with 20.
Because Dirk has been driving so many times to the basket, that's opening up his little mid-range jump shot. That was a beautiful, but he'll wear you out with that jab step series.
Duncan, he's wearing out the Mavs at the other end.
They need him. They need him. Remember, we told you now, uncharacteristically, he's averaged 20 shots a game in the first 2 games. Now, right now in this game, he's already up at 14. They need high production from him tonight without Ginóbili in this half.
Two of the great big men in the game, Duncan and Nowitzki, each with 20 points tonight. And Dampier called for the loose ball foul.
Now, that was dangerous. That was a dangerous rotation because Duncan went out and Dampier was underneath. Keep an eye on this. A great move fake by Duncan. He gets Dampier to go for the fake for the baseline move, and he takes him strong. But Timmy's got that beautiful jump hook.
Yep. 9 for 14 tonight, Coach Tim Duncan. Got 72 points in this series so far. Misses the dunk. Rebound Barea. Terry out ahead of the pack. Here come the Mavs. Mismatch. Double team. Terry in some traffic. Gamble by Parker. Open his kid. He'll finally take one and knock it down.
He needed that. He needed that, and they needed that. That was a big shot by Jason Kidd.
His first field goal of the game.
And I'm glad he didn't pass it off, okay?
Yep.
Because now maybe he'll be looking a little bit more to score.
Miscommunication, Parker and Jefferson. Parker staring holes right now through the back of Jefferson's head. Why he wasn't where the ball was. And now they're a little bit slow getting back San Antonio, and they're lucky that Dallas didn't get an easy score.
Yeah, and they have a mismatch. They have McDyess, Barea on one side.
And Nowitzki taking advantage of Hill on the other. And all of that was because they didn't hustle back. They were worried about the turnover, kind of staring at each other. Dallas takes advantage.
Yeah, now Pop is really upset. He went after Parker, but let's face it, the reason that all happened, McDyess had to pick up Barea, and then on the other side, then Nowitzki has a major mismatch. Here's Jason. Like it. The extra pass by Barea. He could have forced the shot up. Now this is just smart basketball. Nowitzki saying, hey, no small guy's going to play me.
Antonio, Manu Ginóbili is back with the outside of his nose bandaged and cotton or something up both nostrils as the blood was continuing to pour out. It looks like he is back and ready to go. Let's take a look now at tonight's HP in touch. A look at the first round matchups in the Eastern Conference. That a win Jones he just told you about gives Boston a commanding 3-0 lead over Miami in that first round series. In the Western Conference, there's another game going on right now over on ESPN2. Denver up by 3 on Utah in Utah in the second quarter. Big one tomorrow night. Lakers in Oklahoma City tomorrow night, 9:30 Eastern here on ESPN, with the Lakers leading the Thunder 2-1. This is game 3 of this series, and what a good game it's been. A 3-point lead for the San Antonio Spurs.
Well, this is a situation you've got to continue to work through Duncan. Now, anytime that you make a cut, Duncan will give you the ball. We showed you that on that ISO at halftime. The big thing is you have to understand shot blocking. Dampier coming from the weak side.
Barea on the drive. How about that? How about a guy that small arcing a shot up that high and finding nothing but the bottom of the net?
Now, he's no surprise. Right now, they're sitting back in that 2-3 zone again. Jason Kidd is up front. On the front line, you have Barea and Terry in the back.
9-2 run for the Mavericks. 3-second violation. And here comes Manu.
Let's go back to the end of the second quarter. when Dallas went into that 2-3 zone, San Antonio stopped scoring. And they've got to decide right now, what are we running against this zone? Because McDyess catches that ball in the paint, you can't pass out. You've got to score in the paint.
Small lineups for both teams right now. Barea to Nowitzki. Dirk hits a three, and Dallas takes the lead.
You have two great players going head-to-head here. Dirk at 25 at one end, and Timmy Duncan at 20 at the other. Remember, we told you now, though, it's your zone attack. You've got to get high percentage shots against the zone.
Look at the mismatches here. A foul before the shot. That lead, that shot by Nowitzki gives Dallas its first lead, Hubie, since it was 4-2 in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Well, Dirk Nowitzki, we know he can make the threes. Anytime that the shot clock is going down, you can always count on him with range. Go back about 4 or 5 years ago, he was a high percentage three-point shooter.
He didn't take as many this year, but he did finish the season with a flourish, making 18 of his last 27 threes in the regular season.
I'd say that's pretty good.
That's not bad.
That's right. Now, Dallas can play this 2-3 zone because Jason Kidd is an outstanding rebounder at that small forward position.
Terry, another three. Back-to-back trays for the Mavericks, and all of a sudden they're up by 5.
Yeah, this can get a little testy here right now. Mainly because that's their game. You're going to give them the three, they're going to shoot a high percentage.
Hill gets a look. The three rattles out, the rebound to Dirk. Here comes Kidd.
See, this is the tempo that Dallas wants to play at.
Nowitzki took advantage of Bonner a couple of times in the first half and does so again here, although to be fair, what are you going to do?
No,
right?
Well, you're not double teaming him.
Yeah.
He's getting one-on-one coverage, and we said in that first half he can shoot up over Bonner anytime he wants.
27 for Dirk Nowitzki. 87 points so far in 3 games in this series. Parker, not this time. Another rebound for Kidd. Terry gets knocked down. Barea with a reverse that goes.
Great play. Great play. You like the tempo if you're a Dallas fan. They're pushing that ball quickly up the sidelines, and they're looking for the quick shot.
Hubie, it's a 19-2 run right now for the Mavericks. Parker right to the rim with a reverse.
You needed that. You needed that to right the ship here. But now it has to come down to defensive stops.
Ginóbili on Barea. Parker on Terry. Hill on Kidd. Barea. Nowitzki.
Nice fade.
And he threw it away. Ginóbili. Inside. Duncan. And one.
Bad foul. Bad foul by Dampier. Mainly because he couldn't get up in the air to go for the block. If you don't get the block, you foul him so that he can't make the layup. But you do not push him in the low back. You push him in the low back, he still gets a high percentage look. See right there, easy.
Number 3 on Dampier. And a 20-second timeout taken by Rick Carlisle. Dallas with the lead here in the third quarter. They have gotten a huge spark tonight from J.J. Barea. And the Mavericks lead by 5. Well, all night long, the biggest problem the Spurs have had, how do they shut down Dirk Nowitzki? They haven't figured it out yet.
Well, you can't, mainly because he stops himself. You can see right there, going to the basket, then the mid-range play. Then he's challenging. He's been challenging all night off the dribble. He has set the tone. Shot clock down, no problem. I'm going for a 3. Then the mid-range game, he can shoot up over the top of Bonner. So this is a situation. You continue to play him one-on-one, no problem. He will accept the challenge. You double team him, you still got to be tight on the double team, but then he becomes a facilitator and he'll make the extra pass, opening up the Dallas three-point game.
Here's Terry, and an offensive foul. Dampier, I believe, called for the moving screen. That'll be number 4 on him.
Yeah, you see, Dampier's all upset. He has a right. He's saying that I got pushed, I got held, and then I got pushed into the move.
He was arguing with Dan Crawford. The crowd wanted a tee. Duncan not looking to take Dampier, looking to dish it off.
Now, right now, they're back playing a man-to-man, head up. Unfortunately for San Antonio, everything is like discombobulated. There's no smoothness to the attack right now.
Nowitzki again. The whole side of the floor is his, right back into the post.
That's it. Good basketball.
Tough fadeaway, no. Duncan the rebound.
See, San Antonio's got to get something out in the open floor, Dan, because they're not getting any second chance points.
Yep, which they were earlier.
That's right.
Yep.
That was the key to that first quarter.
Here's Jefferson. He has been awfully quiet tonight. A height advantage on Kidd, and he makes him pay.
But that's been there. Anytime Kidd is playing small forward, you have that mismatch. But you got to get him involved.
2-point game. Barea. Good help by Hill. Dirk saves it. Terry with Bonner on him. The jet for three. Rebound Spurs, a chance to tie or take the lead. Ginóbili behind a screen. Oh, the roof would have come off this place. Barea started the second half after playing so well in the second quarter. Nowitzki lays it in, 29 for Dirk.
Barea is causing so much havoc out there right now. He's so hard to guard off the dribble. He's forcing a double team down on the baseline on both sides. Then he makes the correct pass. So they get an open shot on the first pass or the second pass out of the trap.
Caron Butler hasn't played here in the second half. Ginóbili, no. Barea's getting all the minutes. He's got 12 points and 4 assists. Kidd. Nowitzki, a very tough shot with the quarter running out. One of the few misses for Nowitzki here in the third quarter. He had 16 points here in the third quarter. 29 for Nowitzki, 23 for Duncan. And Dallas now has the lead. Can the Spurs answer back in the fourth quarter? The injury to Manu Ginóbili slowed down the Spurs a little bit as he missed several minutes of the game. Barea and Nowitzki both huge in the third, and Dallas is up by 4.
Welcome back to San Antonio, where the Spurs and the Mavs are fighting for series control. Coach Popovich, you told me that you've got some new plays that you wanted to keep hidden in your pocket as long as possible, some new strategies. At what point do you need to start using those?
Well, it's not about new plays, it's about playing smart, and we didn't play very smart against their zone.
You said it's absolutely mandatory against Dallas because of Dirk that you have a lead late in the game. You don't have a great luxury of that right now. How do you contain him?
You do the best you can.
And they're doing the best they can, playing him man-to-man. That's the decision that the Spurs have made. But Nowitzki's got 29, and you know what? J.J. Barea has been almost as important, getting huge minutes tonight. 12 points, 4 assists, and just a thorn in the side of the Spurs all night long.
Well, I like the fact that Rick Carlisle has stayed with Terry and Barea, mainly because between them they have 23 points. They're 9 for 15, and they have made 4 threes. The zone is perfect, mainly because, just like Coach Popovich said, they're not attacking it intelligently, and they're not getting good looks. So I like the fact that Rick plays a little zone, then he plays you a little man-to-man, and he's mixing it up here.
Nowitzki starts the fourth quarter on the bench. Caron Butler hasn't played a second here in the second half because of the way J.J. Barea is playing. Marion back into the game, short on the floater, rebound Bonner. For San Antonio, Tony Parker is on the bench as we go to the fourth. Duncan and Ginóbili and Hill in. Ginóbili, yes.
Well, that was much needed. Now, Ginóbili is 2 for 8 at this juncture of the game. They need him to get it going so that you have Duncan is a major threat out there, but they need the second threat with this group that's on the floor.
Parker getting ready to check back in. Parker carried them at times offensively in the first half. Terry off balance, almost looking for the foul more than trying to knock down the shot, and he didn't accomplish either goal.
Well, he came off of that screen hard. Hill is following him over the top, and when you do that, you know Terry's going to get an open look at 17 feet.
Bonner the handoff to Hill with 8 to shoot. Hill driving right at Marion. Marion might have gotten a piece. Hill is there for the putback to tie the game.
Well, I like what this young guy is doing. Let's face it now, he struggled a little bit in games 1 and 2, mainly because of the ankle. But tonight, they need his points, and he's answering. 13 points.
Such a great rivalry between these two teams. A foul away from the ball on J.J. Barea.
Well, this is a major matchup. All right, they're going after one another big time. You have two speed merchants. And just keep an eye down inside here now on the baseline. There's the cut. And then you're going to see, well, see that to me, you're going to say, well, he didn't move. No, he didn't move. But I'll tell you what moved was that left forearm. The left forearm went up, and that's why he got called. If he just would have kept it close, everything would have been fine.
Hill to the bench. Parker back in. Ginóbili drives and finishes.
Is he answering the bell at the right time? I think so.
Timeout, Dallas. Fifth foul on Dampier. 2 baskets this quarter for Ginóbili. A 13-2 run for the Spurs, who are back on top. At 9:30 Eastern time. What a game tonight. And the latest big story in this game tonight, Manu Ginóbili back from the injury with 2 driving layups here in the fourth quarter. Just his second and third field goals of the game. And remember, took an inadvertent elbow from Nowitzki to the nose. Look at the difference in him. On top of bleeding outside the nose and inside the nose. We don't know if he broke it. Do they know if he broke it? Did they reset it? All we know is this is one tough customer.
Well, one thing is for sure, he is challenging the contact by going to the rim.
Yeah,
The next thing is how difficult it is for him to breathe and continue at this pace, changing ends.
Well, Jason Terry's got that mask that he was using for the broken orbital bone. Maybe if he's not using it anymore, he wouldn't mind giving it to a guy and let Manu wear it, even though he's on the other team the rest of the way. But Ginóbili playing through the discomfort.
And once again, Dallas is in small ball with Kidd, Terry, and Barea in the game.
Terry using the screen from Nowitzki. They got the switch. Open is Terry for 3. Yes!
Well, with the year that they got to the finals and they played Miami, they would always go to the 2-man game with Terry and Nowitzki on the right side of the floor. They read that pick and roll, pick and pop. You trap, they'll find the free guy.
Ginóbili off balance, rebound Nowitzki. You saw that fact, that stat at the bottom of your screen. Dallas has made 7 threes in this game. San Antonio hasn't made 1. Tough to win a game when you're minus 21 from the three-point line. What a save by Kidd. Barea, no. Rebound Dampier, and he is fouled. Or rebound Haywood, excuse me, and he is fouled.
Well, Haywood and Dampier, anytime that you trap and you rotate on the baseline, the big people are leaving the coverage, and that has to be. Unfortunately, that puts pressure on your all small people to rebound against Haywood or Dampier.
Heather Cox has an update on Manu Ginóbili.
Yeah, to answer your question on whether or not Manu's nose is broken, the Spurs medical staff doesn't know because Manu didn't give him the time to check. The minute that they got the bleeding stopped, he ran back onto the court, said, I want to give this a go. You guys can decide after the game if it's broken and what you're going to do with it then.
Nowitzki tries, but wave it off. It's an offensive foul as Bonner takes the charge.
Well, right now, Rick Carlisle is up saying that it was inside the circle. All right. Now, this is Nowitzki's very upset. Now, keep an eye. He goes strong to the basket down in here. No, he was outside the circle. That was a good call. Good call. Now it comes down to your angle. Did he take it in the chest?
Ginóbili, a bullet pass. Duncan, no look. Bonner misses the 3, and over the back, Duncan is called for the foul.
Now, it's a great play by Timmy, but unfortunately went up over the top to get that done. You cannot, if you're a San Antonio Spur, continue to pass up open shots because you're getting it sometimes on the first pass.
Nowitzki Terry for three. And the rebound, Ginóbili. Nearly thrown away. Hill corrals it and then gets collared by Jason Kidd.
Now this is a situation where they're trying to look to work through Duncan. They had a triangle on the left side of the floor. Unfortunately, that was a bad pass. And just keep an eye right here. Now, Jason Kidd naturally goes over the top. You know, when you're an all-defensive player as many times as Jason Kidd, only 5 times first team, all right? Sometimes, some nights, you know, during 82 games, you get away with a little contact like that.
Well, I'll tell you, unbelievable intensity into this building. Game 3 of a first-round series as Ginóbili splits a pair.
Come on now. What courage. He's come out here now. He has challenged Dampier 3 times in the first 4 minutes of this quarter. Watch how he takes on Haywood right here. He's going to take him on up and in, right in your face. Now, Haywood and Dampier are always in the top 10 in shot blocking that we have in the league. He doesn't care which guy is there. He's going right in their face.
Look at the difference. Just 2 points in the first half for Ginóbili. In the second half, despite missing time with the injury, he now has a dozen in the game. San Antonio leads by 3 in what has turned into a back-and-forth affair here at the AT&T Center. Terry.
Nice hands. Nice hands.
That was Hill getting his hands in there. It's Hill at the other end, fouled by Nowitzki.
I like the explosion that time by George Hill. That was excellent ball movement. Give San Antonio a lot of credit. They get the deflection at the one end, and then they move it up. Look at the top of your screen. See, I'm challenging another 7-footer again. You got to give the Spurs a lot of credit here right now because George Hill and Ginóbili are going to the rim strong. Hill has been doing it all night long.
4th foul on Nowitzki. 4th team foul already on Dallas. Bonner will leave. McDyess will check back in. And we have seen a lot tonight of the small lineups from both teams. Really 3 guards and 2 front court players from both teams most of the game.
Dan, it's been a great night of chess match, okay? And they're matching, they're moving, they're trying to force you to play a certain way, and then they change. They go to a different lineup. But give the players a ton of credit. The players have been adjusting in this game. It's a great playoff game.
Nowitzki already with 29. Takes the bump and hits the shot. Are you serious?
That's big time. That's big time because he gets the bump, and not only does he get the bump, he fades back and then releases a teardropper to the top of the ceiling here.
91 points in the series for Nowitzki. Ginóbili saves it. Parker has it. McDyess will take it. In and out, rebound Barea. I'm not sure Barea's come off the court since he entered the game early in the second quarter. Bears repeating, Caron Butler hasn't played at all, not 1 second here in the second half.
You had to call that foul. You had to call a foul, mainly because McDyess was roughing up Nowitzki. Now he was trying to front him. Now it sounds easy, front him. Now watch them fighting here. So he's trying to get over the top. You know, there's a lot of body contact, little grab in there, and then you could see that was easy. Now just watch the bump here on this fadeaway. He bumped him and sent him back. Nowitzki has just been a bear tonight.
Here he comes to get it again. 5 to shoot. That would have been his toughest make of the night, but it won't stay down, and here comes Parker.
Well, you didn't like the fact that he was behind the backboard? I mean, come on.
He's just showing off.
No, he just threw a curve. I mean, you doing Monday Night Baseball. Come on. I thought you would be ready for that.
Duncan, a little bit quieter here in the second half than he was early. Good hands by Haywood. Terry steps into a 3.
You got to get it out. You got to look for the advantages. Because from now to the end, anytime that you get a chance to push and look for the fast break, you got to take it. Because you need easy scores.
Timeout taken by San Antonio as we near the midway point of the fourth quarter. The Spurs leading by 3.
Mark Jones in the studio with this Corona timeout. Big news in the NFL continuing today. Jimmy Clausen of Notre Dame drafted in the 2nd round. 48th overall by the Carolina Panthers. Remember, he passed up his senior season to enter the NFL draft. Meanwhile, speaking of quarterbacks, Colt McCoy with the burnt orange of Texas had to wait all the way until the 3rd round, 85th overall, before being drafted by the Cleveland Browns. There'll be a lot more on SportsCenter on the NFL draft coming up right after the game.
Three-point lead for San Antonio over Dallas. Midway point of the 4th quarter here in what has been an unbelievable game. There's more basketball coming your way Sunday on ABC. It'll be game 4 between the Celtics and the Heat. Boston with a 3-0 stranglehold on that series right now. And then the Cavaliers and the Bulls. Cleveland leading 2-1. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern with GMC Sierra NBA Countdown. Tim Duncan. A big game, but nothing so far here in the 4th quarter, whereas Dirk Nowitzki, look at the 3rd quarter that Dirk had. He's got 31 in the game, and Dallas has needed all of them. They are trailing by 3, but here comes Kidd.
That was a great play from out of bounds. Popovich, one of the best coming out of timeouts. You got the easy layup. Unfortunately, Ginóbili misses the shot.
Mismatches all over the place. San Antonio scrambling on this possession. Kidd. Rebound, Barea.
That's why Barea is still in the game. He has not lost any of his energy.
And he has not come out of the game in the 2nd half. The switch. Barea over Duncan. And it'll be Spurs ball.
We know that Dallas has picked up extra points in this game with their 7 threes. But they've hurt themselves with 15 turnovers. San Antonio at the other end is staying in the game because they're dominating the paint, 52-30 in the paint.
Spurs have not made a 3 in this game.
Oh, they got to get Duncan involved here.
There he is. Nowitzki got a hand in there. Five minutes to go, 3-point game. The winner takes a 2-1 lead in the series. Nowitzki, and he's fouled by Ginóbili. It'll be the 4th team foul on San Antonio here in the 4th quarter.
Now, we just showed a graphic there before at the timeout in regards to what Nowitzki's doing in the 2nd half, and especially the 4th quarter. But Nowitzki is involved in every single possession. Tim Duncan is not. Right? He has not been getting any catches in areas where he scores.
Big minutes for both superstars, as you would expect. Barea the kick. Nowitzki the drive. Terry, tough jumper. Good defense by Hill. Long rebound to Kidd. Terry pulls up at the foul line. Can't hit it.
He's had some good looks tonight. He's to the right of the rim on the majority of his misses tonight.
Ginóbili playing injured with at least a bloody nose, and it may be more than that. They won't know till after the game. Duncan, no. Wanted the foul. Offensive rebound, and McDyess throws it away. Ginóbili has to reach in and foul. Is it a clear path? No, says Dan Crawford. The Mavs were arguing for it.
Now, that was an excellent anticipation by Jason Kidd. He times it perfectly. Watch him shoot the gap at the top of your screen. Right there. Good, smart foul by Ginóbili in the backcourt.
Who, again, literally and figuratively, Hubie, stuck his nose in there right there. And he's playing through some discomfort, but he's not allowing it to affect the way that he's playing.
You go down the wire now. Remember that Dallas, #1 foul shooting team in the league during the season, shot at right at 81%. They're 81% in this series.
Ginóbili might be bleeding again. He pointed over to the trainer on the bench. Starting to take on a little Rocky Balboa look to him at this point. We're, I guess, in about the 14th round of this 15-round heavyweight matchup between these two Western Conference powers.
Come on, now, you can't waste seconds here now.
Hill. Duncan. Got it.
By being aggressive, George Hill just blew by his man, forced the defender, Haywood at that time, to step over. That opens up Duncan.
Collision between Hill and Terry. They play on. 10 to shoot. Nowitzki again. Got McDyess in the air and is fouled and will shoot 2 and hits the floor hard again. This has been a physical night for Dirk Nowitzki.
Now, this is a great ball fake by Nowitzki. He gets McDyess up in the air. No doubt. Well, just watch the ball fake. There it is right there. See, because you're so concerned about the fadeaway, right? There it is. Beautiful. And he steps in and he neutralizes you, and then he takes it strong to the rim.
On the NBA calendar tomorrow, it'll be Orlando at Charlotte for Game 3 of that series. Then Phoenix at Portland. Coverage begins at 2 Eastern. ABC with a Sunday doubleheader. Boston to Miami. Cleveland at Chicago. And Atlanta, Milwaukee. Game 4 of that series Monday night on NBA TV.
Remember we told you about Nowitzki, second in the league, 92% on the line. During the season, he shoots 96% in the fourth quarter. 166 for 173. Wow. We're not talking about a guy who only takes a few.
33 points in the game, 8 for 8 from the line tonight. Parker quiet lately.
Yes.
Uses the screen. Hill from the corner. And a good box out there by Haywood to keep Duncan off his back. Kidd. Nowitzki. Two-man game.
You can't gamble.
Dirk. Yes. Dallas leads.
Now you gamble. So you gamble in that situation and you miss the steal. That's what McDyess did. You open him up because now that's too long of a closeout for Duncan to come and pick him up.
35 of the game, 95 points in 3 games in this series for Dirk Nowitzki. Ginóbili. This match is Parker with Dirk on him. Parker with Haywood on him.
Go by him.
Pulls up instead and hits the long 2.
Tony Parker very quiet here. He's just been going with the flow and has not looked to score. That's why I was surprised in the previous play when he got into the paint that he didn't shoot it, Dan.
Back and forth, San Antonio now up by 1. Nick Bavetta with some sort of a message for the scorers table. Everything's sorted out, and we'll get back to the game. Boy, whoever loses this is going to be an absolute heartbreaker for that team with how hard they have fought and how much this game means.
But this is what we expected.
Yeah.
These are two heavyweights playing one another with great players making great plays, and nobody's asking for any less than the contact that they're getting. The physical contact is terrific at both ends.
Dallas knocked San Antonio out of the playoffs in the first round of last year. Kidd. 2 Mavericks on the glass, and it will be Dallas ball when we come back with 2:08 to go. Dirk Nowitzki, Hubie, doing everything that he can to get a win on the road here for the Mavericks. He's got an incredibly hard-fought 35 points tonight. Tony Parker right back at you. Spurs by 1. All right, Jonesy, thank you. Well, you used the word smooth. I'm not sure we could describe Dirk Nowitzki's night as smooth. 35 points, though. Look at the physical punishment that Dirk Nowitzki has absorbed tonight.
Well, it's been a major battle, whether it's Bonner or McDyess or anyone double-teaming him. He's getting hit, and he's getting hit a lot. But look, this is NBA basketball. This isn't high school and college. There's a lot of physical contact, and that's what I like. At both ends of the floor, everyone is working hard. If you're a main scorer, you really got to work to get the ball. Now, Nowitzki, there's only 3 guys on Dallas in double figures. Nowitzki, and then Jason Terry and Barea off the bench.
Just as we predicted off the top of the show.
Of course, absolutely.
Dirk's played 40 minutes. Jason Kidd has played 43 minutes. Duncan over 41. Hill over 42. Nowitzki and McDyess. Here comes the double team. Barea, tough one, got it back. Got to be a travel, and it is.
Excellent defensive play by Hill that time. Give him all the credit because he got a piece of that shot. And then he changed the direction of the shot by Barea. Now, right now, Smart, 2-3 zone right now. You got to show us now your ball movement and what do you have? Because it's bailed them out on a number of times throughout this first.
Dallas down a point. Duncan. 3 from the corner for Tony Parker.
Now you had it both ways.
Forgive me, Hubie, a 2. Foot on the line, a 2 for Parker.
Yeah, you had Duncan had a shot in the paint, and then you had the open in the corner. Beautiful ball movement.
Nowitzki getting swarmed now. And a timeout called by Dirk.
Come on, great double team. Great double team that time by Tony Parker. He went right down in there.
So after not double teaming for the vast majority of 3 games, the last 2 times down the floor, now they're swarming him and making life very difficult for him. Here's the big shot by Parker, Coach.
Oh, you just love it. You love the ball movement because you broke the zone down by dribbling into the painted area. Duncan had it, and then the other. Now watch this double team. See, Parker's right in there. Always go for the ball as it comes off the floor.
Go here in San Antonio. You see the reset. Dallas is down to just 1 20-second timeout. The Mavericks have the ball down by 3. And the 2 big superstars, the 2 big fellas, Nowitzki and Duncan, both have lived up to their advanced billing here tonight, especially Dirk Nowitzki, just making tough shot after tough shot.
Well, he's involved in almost every single play. Whether he gets a high percentage shot off the dribble, he's finding other people. The big thing right now, what's happened to Dallas? Well, they're 3 for 15 with 4 turnovers in this quarter. So naturally, they only have 11 points. But they're still in the game because they're defending and doing a good job at the other end.
Both coaches will send out the same group. 3 guards on the court for both teams the entire 4th quarter. Richard Jefferson hasn't played in the 4th. Caron Butler hasn't played for Dallas in the 2nd half. Terry, 6 to shoot. Driving off the side of the backboard. Spurs ball.
Well, they played him perfectly. All right, he was defense on the dribble well, and then also the help man came.
Less than a minute to go. Push by Parker. Got away with one.
He sure did.
He'll pull up for the long jumper. 2 long jumpers for Tony Parker.
I love it. I love the fact that he, after missing the 26 games, is finally back condition-wise. Plus, he's accepting the pressure again, and this is what they need if they're going to win this series, for him to play big at the end. Now this is just, I'm wearing you out. And there's a push, you get away. That should have been an offensive foul. Now, you say, well, big deal. Well, it ends up a big deal because Parker knocks in the jump shot.
20 points on 9 of 15 shooting for Tony Parker tonight. The Mavericks have just used their final timeout.
We're going to show you the last possession on Terry. See, Hill's going to chase him, but how about the fact that they switch off and they have the big man, McDyess, pick him up and put the pressure on. That's great team play and good communication between 2 defenders.
What a hard-fought game here tonight. The Spurs up by 5. Dallas ball, less than a minute to go.
Yeah, the big thing is now, come on, don't force a 3. The big thing is a score. Get a score.
Kid.
They bring Nowitzki off a staggered screen, and he got a good look.
Ginóbili comes down with a rebound.
Well, you got to make up your mind here right now. That's good. You can't decide. I don't want to foul a guy who shoots 85%. You've got to stop the clock and force that player to go to the line and make the shots.
Dallas is going to have to win a game in this building if they're going to win the series after the Spurs took game 2 in Dallas.
Well, we all know that Dallas led the league in road wins this year at 27 and 14. That's a big improvement over a year ago. They only won 18 a year ago. So 5 plus. So yeah, hey, this is one game.
Yeah.
Right?
Sunday night, game 4.
Plenty of time here right now. Now you know you got to get a 3.
Terry takes a 3 and hits it.
All right, now smart basketball now. Smart basketball.
And Hill will head to the line. George Hill 77% from the free throw line during the regular season.
Main thing when you get in these situations with the NBA, you've got to be clock management. And this is just a great move by Terry. He knows he got to make a three in this situation. And then also you go for the steal, you don't get it, you foul immediately. Because an NBA game, you know, you can move the ball. But Dallas is now out of all timeouts. They cannot move the ball.
Jefferson back into the game for McDyess. That might be the first substitution either team's made in the fourth quarter. Hill at the line.
Well, this young man has had an outstanding game.
In game two, the fourth option, or the guy who helped the big three, was Richard Jefferson. Tonight, it has been George Hill, playing with a bad ankle that's getting better day by day, and the numbers reflect that.
And he did a terrific job defensively on Barea, who came in the second quarter and caused havoc.
Barea got it to go. Tough shot.
No, it's not over here. Now you got 23 seconds.
And they don't get the foul right away.
Nice.
The layup for Parker.
Yeah, I love that. I love that kind of basketball. They got it out at the defensive end of the floor. And Ginóbili, once again, is the guy who created it. He just pushed the ball, and Parker filled that left lane. Beautiful team play. Look at this. Now watch to the right of your screen. You're going to see Parker. Nowitzki too late.
That was assist number 7 on the night for Manu Ginóbili. Parker looking for the three-point play.
Yeah, Manu's the leading assist guy in this game tonight.
Duncan carried them early. Ginóbili scoring a lot in the second half. Parker consistent throughout the night.
Well, once again, they came up once again with all the big plays in this fourth quarter.
Rodrigue Beaubois, coast to coast, the rookie with his first playoff points. And a foul now to send Ginóbili to the 9. Ginóbili a little bit upset at the contact there, playing again with an injury of undetermined severity right now.
I like the fact that both coaches, these two teams are very well coached. You can see they scored, they immediately were in their full court pressure, and then they didn't get the steal. That's okay. They're going to foul quickly. And this guy right here, what a warrior, man. What a warrior. Everyone loves him. Just think of how popular he is in his country. MVP of the Olympics when they won the gold. And then also, he played in Italy for 2 years, MVP over there 2 years also.
And how excited are they that he re-signed here for 3 more years in San Antonio? Could have been a free agent at the end of this season.
He's a great professional. He lays it on the line every single night. He's all about winning. Whatever you need me to do, that's what I'm going to do.
You could say the same for that guy. As Duncan gets a huge ovation coming out. Duncan with 25 points tonight. He's had 25 or more, Hubie, in all 3 games in this series.
Main thing now is no foul, especially do not foul a three-point shooter.
Barea takes it inside. And the follow is there for Haywood to make it a 4-point game. 2 seconds to go. And the San Antonio Spurs take a 2-1 lead in the series. What a game. (94-90). The Spurs beat the Mavericks in a game that couldn't have had more intensity if you tried. Heather Cox is with Tony Parker and Tim Duncan.
Dan, thanks so much. Congratulations on the win, Tim. It just looked like a chess match out there. Ultimately, what was the difference in your mind?
We just stuck with it. They made a run at us. They got out at us, hit some shots in a row, but we stuck with it. TP hit me some huge shots for us, and we just kept attacking. It was great.
This is the 5th time that you and the Mavs have faced off in the playoffs. This rivalry is something special. Describe just how physical and how intense it was out there tonight.
It's huge, and the fans love it on both ends, here and there, and we always have great series, so it's really built into something.
Keep it up as you gain series advantage, Tim. Thank you. And Tony, Tim took over in the first half. You took over in the second half. How did your mindset change?
I was mad at myself because in the third quarter they went into a zone and I was not very aggressive and they make a big run. So I told myself in the fourth quarter when I come back I'm going to try to be in the same mindset I was in the first half, and I got some big basket and a big win for us.
Manu went out middle of the third quarter with a nose injury. At that point, how did the team rally together, not knowing whether or not he'd return?
Well, I knew he was going to come back, but you know, Dallas played well in the third quarter. But Manu came back strong. You know, in the beginning of the fourth quarter, he had some big basket, got some three-point play, and Manu was huge in the fourth quarter too.
What did you guys learn in this very tight game and a very tight series that can help you clinch this series?
Anything can happen. You know, every time we play Dallas, it's a big rivalry, and we know they can win here, so we have to stay focused. It's going to be another big one on Sunday.
All right, Tony, we'll let you enjoy it. Congrats. Dan?
Heather, thank you very much. What a performance by Parker, Duncan, Ginóbili, and the rest of the Spurs tonight. And what a game here for the AT&T Center. 94-90, the Spurs beat the Mavericks. Sports Center is next here on ESPN, and over on ESPN News, we'll have a wrap-up of this game with a post-game extra. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Hubie Brown, Heather Cox, and our entire NBA on ESPN crew, I'm Dan Schulman saying thanks for watching and good night from San Antonio, where the Spurs have taken a 2-1 lead.